Hello folks, this is Sula once again. Welcome to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is going to be taken from another ranked game. This is getting close to high platinum, so been doing pretty well in these ranked games recently, kind of climbing steadily through platinum. And this game I've decided to title the Arcanist game that wasn't, for reasons that are going to become clear as the game goes along. So this is a fun one. This is one of the more entertaining games that I've been able to play and then fortunately cast recently. All right, so starting out, this is a ranked game, so I'm trying not to fool around here, trying not to experiment with things I'm unfamiliar with. I'm going to take the chain vest from the very start, and that is kind of my standard opening here because I think it's a very flexible item, and it's not bad to have. If you end up with like 2 or 3 or even 4 vests, it's not the worst thing in the world, whereas if you end up with like 3 cloaks, it's not as good generally, but oh well, I've said that before. And you just need to wait for Kate to kill the minions and end up getting some interesting stuff here. So I have gotten the Swain and the Trundle here. I also have a Ziggs and a TF, and I was like, you know what? This feels maybe this is an Arcanist game. I could play the TF and the Ziggs. That'll put in Arcanist, and then I can play the Swain for some frontline. That's a third Arcanist. Then I could play Trundle, and that'll put Scrap in play. I was like, that feels like a pretty solid opening. I think I can play through that, and maybe I just play Arcanist for a change, which I do think are reasonably strong in the current makeup of the game. So that's the direction I was leaning in here. Now, the first augment I get is going to direct my entire game, and that is, if you look here, I have Protector Crest, I have Trade Sector. I don't really want either of those, or I can take Clear Mind. Now, I have played, I think, one Clear Mind game, which I put up on YouTube. This is a very unique augment, and what this does is it gives you 3 additional XP if you have no champions on your bench at the end of a round, like when the round flips over. So you can be getting, normally you get 2 XP per round, you can get 5 instead. So that's a very, very big deal in the early game, but you have to have an empty bench. So it can be very tricky to try to make 2-star units out of this. And in fact, the question of when do you hold units on your bench versus when do you clear your bench to take advantage of Clear Mind is not the easiest decision at all. So you're generally trying to balance playing a strong enough board so that you're not losing a lot of health with getting the free experience from Clear Mind. And so right here, note that I actually do not end up clearing my bench because I want to play this Trundle. I am going to go ahead and level there. So I'm going to put in the Trundle, but like, look at what I've got here. I have a Trundle, a Swain, a TF, and a Ziggs. And I was like, oh man, I've got pairs of everything because like there's another Ziggs and another Trundle in the store. And I was like, geez, I've paired everything here except I guess the Swain. But like, I've got all these pairs here. I was like, do I sell my bench to take advantage of Clear Mind? And I decided that I would actually hold on to these units for the time being, not taking advantage of Clear Mind, just as I didn't take advantage of it on the previous round, because I want to see if I can hit on at least 1 or 2 of these pairs. Like if I could hit 2-star TF, that would be a big bump. If I could hit 2-star Trundle, that would be a big bump. So I'm giving up some of the benefit of this augment just for a round or 2, and I want to see if I can hit these units. So, like I said, kind of an unusual play. I don't know that I love this play. I really wish that I could just hit a 2-star unit, and then I feel much more comfortable clearing my bench and taking advantage of Clear Mind. But I want to see if I can hit at least one of these units, which will then give me some units to play through. All right, so then I hit the TF, and as soon as I see that, I was like, all right, that's the signal. Now I've got a unit I can play through. I've got a Bramble Vest on Swain that'll give me some decent frontline, if not amazing. Swain 1-star, not amazing or anything. I'd love to just replace the Swain with Vex. That would be great if I could find a Vex in my store. But I do have a decent frontline for the moment, and then I've got a belt on my bench. So I was like, oh, wow, we just need to get 1 rod, and then we can make 2-star TF with Morello with Arcanist trait, and like that'll carry me through all of stage 2 and a good portion of stage 3. Like I might not win every round, but I'm not going to be taking bad losses if that's the case. So I'm just 1 rod away from being in really, really, really good position here. So that's my hope. I was like, all right, let's see if we can get a rod off this carousel that's going to be coming up, or just have a rod pop out of the minion round, and then we'll be set. And I'll have a way to play through the early game. I don't have to hold any units on my bench. I can take advantage of Clear Mind, and then I'll just be able to econ into the later game. By the way, the video seems to have frozen here for a second. I'm sorry about that. Again, there's no replays in Teamfight Tactics, so if the initial recording gets frozen, there's not much I can do about it. All right, so here I would like to be able to play another... What I'd really like to do is 2-star the Swain. So I'm actually going to level to level 5 and then put the Swain in, just so I can hold another unit. I'd also really like to hold the Blitzcrank as well, but I suppose I could like drop the Ziggs, but I am hoping to play into Arcanists here. Like I could always drop the Ziggs, play Blitz over Ziggs, and that would still retain the 2 Arcanists and the 2 Scrap, but I am trying to play into Arcanists here, so that's why I'm not that willing to ditch the Ziggs, even though Ziggs is not doing a whole lot on his own. So anyway, that's the setup here. And so far, I've been able to win the first 2 rounds. I thought maybe I could win this one, because I am level 5 after all. I am level 5 a little bit early. Typically, you don't go to level 5 until after this carousel. The problem is this person has Thrill of the Hunt augment, and you can see every time they're killing a unit, they're getting 600 health back. So that allows them to win that round, which is not great because it interrupts the win streak. But on the plus side, I do get higher carousel priority. So I'm going to be 3rd pick due to this 3-way tie. And if I can get the... I see that there's a misfortune with the rod. I was like, all right, get me that misfortune. That's 3 gold plus a rod. If I can get this, then I've got my Morellos, and we're off and rolling in this game. And the best news is that item is coming right towards me. So I look like I should be able to get this. I'm just going to make a beeline there, but oh, at the last second, that person Cubic Sphere is going to take it away from me. So, yep, sometimes that happens. I don't know if that person necessarily wanted that item, but they sure wanted to deny it to me. And they were there like a half of a second before I could grab the item. So that's disappointing, but I was able to pick up this Mauls with a Cloak. Now, the Cloak's not necessarily something that I want that badly, but this will take me up to 4 Arcanists, and Mauls is a nice unit to play in the early game and mid game. So making the best of a situation that's not ideal. Again, I really wanted that rod, but I wasn't able to get it, so make the best of the situation, pick up the Mauls. Picking up Mauls not so much for the item, but just for the unit. Now what I'm looking for is obviously still a rod, so make Morellos, but if I can get a tier, that's not bad either, because that would allow me to make a Chalice on Mauls. And for me, looking to play into Arcanists, getting Chalices would not be the worst thing. Chalice was buffed in the most recent patch, and with that, I believe that they added 5 ability power to it. And that might not sound like much, but remember, Chalice affects 3 units, not 1. So if it's giving 5 more AP to 3 units, that makes it a lot better. I think it was at 30 ability power, and they upped it to 35. So again, not a huge buff, but enough that the item is definitely more playable now. And for Arcanist team comps, it's pretty nice to have a Chalice in there, giving 3 units the equivalent of like 2 rods worth of ability power. So I can make use of this. I just need to find a tier, and then I could run Mauls next to TF, next to Ziggs, and they'd all be getting, like I said, 35 AP, which would be quite nice for the early game and scale well into the late game. Okay, so meanwhile, right now, I'm just trying to econ. Losing that round wasn't great, but I'm doing what I can, and I'm keeping no units on my bench to take advantage of Clear Mind. And yeah, so the person I've lost to is the person that's on the big win streak, so that's not a surprise. I do see that there's an assassin player out there, and I would definitely not win against that assassin player. So I was hoping to win this round. It would actually be pretty nice to win this round so I could carry a minion streak, a modest win streak into the minion round. Unfortunately, that does not happen. Swain gets eaten by Cho before Swain can get his ult off, and I was like, oh, really? We didn't kill anything? We didn't kill even 1 unit? No. If Swain had gotten his ult off, I don't know that we win the fight, but at the very least, we kill 2 of those units, and it's a lot closer. So that was kind of disappointing. So even though I thought that initial round went relatively well, or initial stage, excuse me, stage 2, even though I thought that it went relatively well, now I'm not on any kind of win streak or loss streak, and I'm at 86 HP. So it's gone from being like a good stage 2 to just kind of like a mediocre stage 2, which is really disappointing. I think that if I'd been able to get Morellos on TF, then I probably, well, I don't know that I necessarily win those rounds, but I would be in better shape. Okay, so now we want to be on the lookout for other items. So again, I'm looking for Tier and Rod. Tier and Rod, the basis of any Arcanist game. And I'm going to get a glove, which is not great. I guess it could be a jeweled gauntlet later on. But then I get a bow, and then I get champ. So, yeah, those are great items for a Last Whisper. Not really what I want with this particular team comp. So, yeah. Ugh. I'm looking here. You can see my past self highlighting these items. Like, what do I do with these items? So I'll go ahead and put the recurve bow on the Trundle. I'll put the glove on the Ziggs just so maybe I can get some scrap value out of these, because I do have the scrap trait. but yikes, that was not what I was looking for. And I don't want to make like a Trap Claw, or I don't want to make a Zerat Portal, because remember, I'm still trying to make Morellos. Like, I don't want to commit this belt because I'm trying to make Morellos on TF. Just need to get a rod for that. So that's why I'm just still holding the belt, even though it might be nice to, like put more health on Swain. Swain getting extra health would actually be a pretty big deal. But nope, gotta hold because I'm trying to make Morellos, and so as a result, we're going to lose this round, which is not great. But at least I will be able to get to level 6 here. That said, I'm at 76 HP, and I know full and well I need to upgrade my board. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to take advantage of the Clear Mind trait. Clear Mind has got me to level 6. Now I'm going to roll, and I'm going to try to hit 2 stars. And then I'll try to clear my bench again afterwards. But I have to hit some 2 stars. I know I need to stabilize here. So I'm going to keep rolling gold. I'm going to try to put some kind of bench together. So I'm like, how do I put this together? I would definitely like to play the Janna. I was like, do I take one of these units out for 4 scrap? I'd also like to maybe get the Lysandra in here somehow. So I don't quite manage to put it together, and I drop all the way down to 16 gold. But I have upgraded my bench by quite a bit. Now I've got a 2-star Blitz in there. I've got a 2-star Trundle up there on the front lines. And now and I also managed to find a Malzahar pair, which is not going to be bad either. If I could find one more Malz, I think I'll be very stable here. So this is what you kind of have to do with Clear Mind, is you have to pick your spots when you want to try and upgrade your board, because you can't just hold units on your bench normally like you ordinarily would. So I decided that I needed to avoid losing too much health in the mid game. And here, I'm going to look here. I was like, all right, how about Spellblade? After casting their ability, Arcanist, their next auto attack deals extra damage. So again, I'm playing into Arcanist. I'm going to take the Arcanist Augment. And now I want to try to set up my board here. I really would like to play the Janna. I decide, do I take out the TF? I was like, no, but TF is 2-starred. I was like, how do I do this? How do I do this? And ultimately, I decide, you know what? Let's put the Lysandra in, because that'll make Scholar trait. She can frontline decently. She can also hold Morellos decently. Let's now clear the bench to take advantage of Clear Mind. And I'm just going to put my tank items on Trundle up there. I can put this Bramble Vest on him. There's no Brawler trait in, so he's not going to be that tanky, but he should be able to hold up there for a little while. He can probably frontline better than anyone else. Clear the bench, and this is what we're rolling with, this kind of very wonky 3-scrap, 2-scholar, 2 Arcanist. But I do have a lot of 2-stars, so like in terms of traits, this is not ideal, but I do have a lot of 2-stars in here. 2-star Trundle, 2-star TF, 2-star Blitz, and then the big one, the 2-star Mauls. So again, if I can just get like a Chalice for Mauls, I'll actually be in very nice shape for an Arcanist team comp down the road. So yeah, Lysandra gets off a nice ult here. Mauls is applying his damage in the backlines. Janna is going to heal the team. There's actually Janna's on both teams here. And, I thought Blitz was going to get off one more ult there, but it's not quite enough. That said, this is a close fight, and Mauls' damage is going to tick down the Janna. And I was like, wait a minute, I think I actually win this fight. So yeah, Mauls is able to clutch it out and win that fight. And that's the difference of having the 2-star Malzahar. So economically, I did sacrifice a lot of econ to put that together, but I'm in a much better shape for rolling. And then we get this carousel. I was like, what? I remember I need rods and tears, and every item on this carousel is a sword or a cloak or a bow. I was like, what? This carousel has trolled me unbelievably hard based on what I'm trying to play. I was like, there's no rod here. There's no tier here. I have second pick on the carousel. It's all cloaks and bows and swords. I really don't know what to do with this. So I take Janna just because it's an expensive unit. And I was like, I guess I can put our Hurricane on Trundle. This is basically made just to try to preserve health here in the mid game, because Trundle uses the Hurricane quite well, and then now he can get a scrap item out of having that glove. So this is a move taken just to try and preserve health. I don't know what I'm going to do with this Hurricane long term. Again, I'm still trying to play into Arcanists here. That was my goal. I've taken the Spellblade Augment. I don't really want to go in another direction, because then I have a completely dead Augment that's not going to do anything, but I may have to. I may have to take that decision. So we'll see. At the very least, we are able to get Trundle to hold up long enough to let the rest of the team pile on their damage, and I'm going to win this fight pretty easily. So that at least is a good sign. This person's apparently playing Mercenaries, but they don't seem to have a big Mercenaries chest, and they're all the way down at 32 HP. So I would not want to be in their position. I am very happy to be at 76 HP. instead, which I think is a lot safer. All right, so now we've got another round before the minions, and I'm looking at my board. I was like, you know, I am on a 3-match win streak. I'd really like to carry a 4-match win streak. What if I leveled? It's only 24 to level. What if I level here? I can actually put in Ez, and he makes 4 scraps, somewhat amusingly. I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and do that. I do want to get the upgraded shops. I don't know if this was the greatest move because it does cost me a lot of econ to do that. Like, I drop all the way down to 26 gold, so maybe that wasn't worthwhile to do, but I really did want to extend my win streak here, and I was hoping that getting that extra scrap value, the larger shields, would help with that. So I don't know if that was worthwhile or not. Hard to say in retrospect, but it does look like we're going to win this round. So if it made the difference in winning this round, it was probably worthwhile. But I think we actually would have won that round anyway without Ez. Ez didn't really do anything. I don't think that having the higher scrap shield actually did much of anything. So if I had to do this again, I would not have leveled there because I don't think it made a difference. And it did cost me a fair amount of money. But oh well, it is what it is. And I should also mention a little bit about people in the lobby. Note that there are multiple people playing the Protector reroll build with Kog'Maw and Garen and Kassadin. Multiple people playing that build. Also, I should probably just sell Ezreal and play Ziggs, because he would at least get benefit from the Arcanist trait. That's a very minor optimization, but it would actually help me out a bit here. But yeah, stage 3, you know, I rolled a bunch of gold on 3-2, right when I hit level 6. It was expensive. It did cost me a lot of econ to do that. But then I was able to win streak through the rest of the stage, so I would have to say that it was worth it. I could not just sit there and bleed out health all the way through the stage. Oh, and then look at this. I actually end up getting a spatula here. I was like, oh, okay. That's pretty interesting. We get the spatula. So now I have the option to look to play Taric, but the spotlight's not really in a particularly useful spot. So I'm going to drop that for the moment. And now I'm just going to try to survive these next couple rounds and see if I can make it to level 8. I have a tough call here. I can burn the spatula immediately and look to make another Arcanist, which would be really nice. That makes it far easier to play 6 Arcanists in the late game if you make an Arcanist. But as you can already see, I did not go for that. I went for the Morellos instead because I knew that I was going to need it against some of the people in this lobby. There were a number of people playing Cho in this lobby. I know I've already seen this comp before, and I knew that I was going to need Morellos against these comps. I just have no chance to win these rounds if I don't have Morellos burning away at all their health. So, like, look at this round. We've got the Morellos burn on the Cho. We've got it on the Zac. Basically, the whole team is burning. TF fortunately managed to get into a spot where he was safe. And this round, we basically just won this round off of having Morellos. Look at the true damage on the damage chart. It's like 1,000 true damage and stop those units from healing. So I do think it was worthwhile to do that, and I wish I'd been able to get a rod off one of those earlier carousels. I might have been on an even bigger win streak if that was the case. I might have been able to win streak through longer. But, you know, in good position here. I'm going to look to go to level 8 after the carousel, and I should have plenty of gold to roll, and then I'm going to hope to find, you know, Lux and Victor and all that. I did think about making the Quicksilver on Trundle, but I decided I would not commit it for the moment. I'm just worried about my items again, as like these really are not the items that you use to play an Arcanist team comp. So I am concerned about that, but I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens here. In this particular fight, Trundle dies very quickly, which is a little bit sad. This is, again, one of the 2 people that are playing Protector reroll, and it's very good for me that they're both contesting with each other in the lobby for these same units. This one looks like it might be close initially, but then that Protector emblem on the Kog'Maw allows the Cog to keep getting shields off, and that's going to stop them from taking too much damage there. But on we go. As I said, I do lose my win streak, which is unfortunate, but I'm honestly a little bit surprised it lasted as long as it did. And that really carried me through the mid-game, so now I'll be in a position where I can look to challenge, and I'm in a pretty good position to top 4 this game. One person's on 6 HP, so unless they can win streak from there, they're, you know, probably not going to make it out of the lobby. Also, someone immediately begins pinging like crazy, so I do what I usually do when someone starts pinging like a madman, is I'm just going to mute them because I don't want to deal with this, and yeah. Enough of that nonsense. All right, this is a comp I haven't seen too much recently, and this is probably the comp that I match up the worst with right now, this Assassin team comp, because like that Twitch just jumps into the backlines and kills Malzahar, and as soon as that happens, I don't really have much in the way of damage. One thing that is nice, again, about having the Morellos is you do end up usually killing at least a few units, even in a bad matchup like that. So I lose again, but I do manage to kill most of the team. I think we killed 4 of the 7 units, so at least it's not too bad of a loss. And if anything, it does let me get second pick on the carousel. All right, now my eyes light up when I see this. I was like, there's a spatula on the Victor. I mean, that's force of nature for me. If I grab that, I get to play an extra unit and I get a Victor. So my Arcanist setup is perfect. But it, of course, gets snapped right in front of me. So I was like, oh, man. I was like, well, let's go ahead and grab the rod. That'll allow me to make Arcanist spat. And that gets grabbed too. And the tier gets grabbed. And I was like, oh... What? Again? I'm left with a bow or a cloak again? Like, what? So these carousels have not been it in this game today. In any case, though, now we're going to try to roll down and see what we hit. So I'll pick up units. I'll definitely play that Yumi. So let's see if we can play that. And there's another Janna. I don't think I'm playing Akali from this position. Akali can't use these items any better than anyone else. Yone is a possibility. Yone can use these. I'm certainly going to pick up the Lux as well. But, like, I'm really not finding the units that I'm looking for. Like, this is not kind of what I want to see for an Arcanist board. So, again, I was like, do I actually want to play Arcanist with this setup? Because I'm not feeling confident with these items. I have, one rod, which I've used for Morello's. I have 0 tiers. I don't think that this is a board that really wants to play into Arcanist. I did hit the Yumi, so that's nice. And I can always transfer my Morellos over to Yumi and have her apply it. So at this point, I was like, wait, do I actually kill this Cho? And then I was like, no, this guy's got Thrill of the Hunt. He's going to heal on every unit he kills. So I will lose this eventually, because these units cannot kill Cho. He's going to heal every single time he eats someone. But on the plus side, this does mean that it's not a bad loss. So I will only take 5 damage, and I can live with taking 5 damage. So we're going to get our last augment. It's a prismatic augment. I don't think I want bruisers. I don't think I want exiles. And I can play Stand United. So here I see a Jhin pop up. And then I was like, all right, I think we'll just play Jhin from here. Because we actually do have items that can be used. And then I hit 2 Jhins very quickly. So I was like, all right, we're going to pivot. It's going to be a Jhin game. So now the whole thing is, how quickly can I reconfigure my entire team? So we're going to get TF out of there. And we're going to keep rolling. We're going to put the Morellos on Yumi. Who else is still in there? Mauls is still in there. I don't want Mauls, so I need to get him out of the team composition. And that's going to allow me to put Hurricane on Jhin. And then I can make Last Whisper, because I do have the items for that. And now Braum can take a Dragon's Claw, and he can take a Bramble's Vest. I still get to play another unit, so I think I'm going to play the Seraphine as well. And even though that Spotlight is in a really lousy spot, I don't want the Spotlight. I am going to hit 2-star Taric. By the way, hit Victor right after I pivot, so that's great. And then we hit Jhin, so I was like, oh, okay. So yeah, I do not hit much in the way of Luxes, but and my items are not what I've been looking for the whole game, but I hit 2-star Jhin, and you know, I've been able to pivot very smoothly into a completely different team composition. The only thing I need to do is upgrade my front line, because Braum 1-star is probably not quite sufficient here. By the way, Jhin goes down to no HP, but then Yumi is able to come over and save the Jhin. So can we win this round? No, not quite. And unfortunately, that was the person on 6 HP, so that's a little bit sad. But if there is an upside, it's the fact that I lose 4 rounds in a row and carry the 4 loss streak into a minion round. So I will get extra gold out of it for what that's worth. Now remember, I also have Stand United, so playing additional traits is good for me. I also was able to clear my bench there, so I was actually able to take advantage of the Clear Minds bonus XP for a little bit there. But I'm not really planning on playing into the Clear Minds right now, just because it's more important for me to try to 2-star these units. Like, that's what matters right now. I really need to upgrade Braum to 2-star, upgrade Ori to 2-star, upgrade Seraphine to 2-star. If I can get those units upgraded, then maybe I look to go to level 9 and just play from there. It's also unfortunate that the Spotlight is in a spot that I really can't get much use out of. So yeah, I mean, it is what it is. And now I've basically got a dead Spatula here that I can't do much with. So I'm going to make Quicksilver Sash, and then it's like, do I want Syndicate? Do I want Arcanist? I don't think either of those is going to do anything. I'm not playing enough Syndicate units to make use of that. So I'm going to roll, and I do hit the 2-star Seraphine, so that's certainly nice. And keep rolling, and then I see there's another Ori and another Braum here. So I'm probably going to have to end up locking for that. I wouldn't mind playing Scion either, but I just haven't really hit Scions. So I decided I'm going to do this, that I'm going to make an Aura item. I'm going to go ahead and make a Locket, because what else am I going to do with those leftover items? And I decided it's better used in the back lines. just because this will help me against assassins. I know there's an assassin player. Also, look at this. There's a Lux player that I'm up against right here. So Lux is going to target my backline, and look what happens. She just fires off her ult, and it hits units that have Locket on them, and absolutely nothing happens whatsoever because it just hits the Locket shield. Lux does not get the chance to reset, and that's that. By the way, I'm really hoping that Jin will stop shooting at the stupid Vex. Finally, he stopped shooting at Vex. Oh, and here I just managed to lock in time to get another Ori. And yes, this does cost me Clear Mind, but I don't want to look to try to econ up to 9 until I can hit these units. Ideally, I hit 2-star Ori, I hit 2-star Braum, then we clear our bench, then we go to level 9, and the ideal last unit to play would be Jace. Jace will get me Transformer, so that will add another trait for Stand United, and he'll also just be a fantastic unit in his own right. Theoretically, I could also even just drop Braum and replace him with Frontline Jace. That's also a possibility. I've also been... I really can't use the Spotlight, though, which is really sad. That's like the one sad thing in this game. Spotlight is completely useless for me. So I'm just putting Blitzcrank on there so that he can hook somebody, get the bonus damage, and I guess maybe he'll get off another hook at some point in the fight, because he does get the extra mana generation from the Socialite Spotlight, and, we do have Scholar trade in. By the way, we're kind of just crushing this Protector team comp, so I'm pretty happy with that. I was like, all right, I mean, again, looking good. A number of people low on HP. I'm feeling pretty confident that I can get a top 4 finish here. Now just show me Ori and Braum, and we're good. And then we can go up to level 9. All right, so... And we do not see either one of them. So, oh well. Braum is honestly the more important of the two units because my biggest weakness right now is my front line is pretty sketchy. It's not terrible. I do... Like, Tarek can frontline a little bit. He's okay in that role. And I do have Blitzcrank who can help out a lot, but I mean, going from 1-star to 2-star Braum would just be amazing. Braum has very good tank items. I just need him to be 2-starred so he'll get the upgraded, the extra stats, and in particular the upgraded health is kind of the other big thing. So this person has Blitz with the Zephyr, though they're kind of oddly positioned to have Blitz with the Zephyr. But what that does is Blitz is late to use his ultimate. It actually gets the Caitlyn popped on this team, which is probably not what they want. This person has managed to hit the 2-star Kog'Maw, though, so the question is, can we actually kill Kog'Maw in this fight or not? That Protector emblem is definitely helping them. They got the double Protector emblems out of the last Prismatic Augment. So, we're going to freeze them in place with Yuumi. We've got them burning. Can Jin actually finish this off, though? It's pretty close. I need Yuumi to ult again, and hey, it actually does work out. Nice job. There, nice combo play with Yuumi and Jin. All right, so we've got another carousel. I was honestly kind of hoping there'd just be one spatula on the carousel. Sometimes these carousels just have one spatula by itself, which would be useless to anyone else, but would be incredibly valuable for me. So again, I'm looking what's right here. The Trap Claw is interesting. I do consider taking the Trap Claw, but I wasn't sure that I had a great place to put that. And the value of Trap Claw is lower for me because I already have a Quicksilver Sash on Jin. Since I've got the Quicksilver on Jin, I don't really need the Trap Claw to the same extent as I would otherwise. All right, so then we find Yuumi. So I've got 2 out of 3 Yuumis, and then I find another Yuumi. So I was like, oh, okay, Yuumi 2-star? Yeah, we'll lock for that. Now, again, I'm not getting Clear Mind, bonus XP, but I think it's clearly worthwhile to try to hit these units here. Of course, I could clear my bench and try to get to level 9, but there's probably not that many rounds left in the game. I think I decided that if I hit Braum 2-star, I would sell the Ori, but I really, really, really wanted to hit Braum 2-star because he's so important for frontline purposes. I thought it was worthwhile to give up the Clear Mind XP so that I could try to hit Braum 2-star, basically. Now, this comp here is the one I was most concerned about. This person's playing a Chemtech board, and they've managed to find a 2-star, what's his name, a 2-star Victor back there. So I was like, yeah, this fight's going okay, right up until Victor gets his ult off and murders my whole board. So I was like, oof, yikes. I am not surprised I lost that round. I was hoping it would be a little bit closer, but it was not especially close. Good news is somebody else got knocked out. Bovin Holmes was the person who I believe was playing, it was either Assassins or Challengers, was playing one of them. And I was very happy to see that person get knocked out of the lobby because they had a board that I had fared very poorly against when I hit them last. I think they were playing Assassins, and I had kind of lost every time that I saw that team comp. I could be misremembering that, but I know that that was a comp that I matched up poorly. So it's mostly people playing either Protector Reroll or Mutants, or there's this one person that the person I just hit who was playing the Urgot Chemtech plus Victor. So those are the boards that I have to be concerned with right now. Fortunately, no one else is playing Jin. Now, for this board, I swap at the last second to be over on the left-hand side instead of the right-hand side. And that is really good for this fight because it means that their Lux player, their Lux is not targeting Jin. Lux was just kind of firing randomly. Also, the Locket getting really good value in this. Unfortunately, it's a ghost round, so I don't do any damage, even though I win by a huge margin, but that is what it is. And there are still 2 people on 4 HP, so have not managed to knock anyone out of the lobby yet. Here, I have a tough decision. I could sell the Braum and look to try to go to level 9, but I was still hoping that I would be able to hit one more Braum, so I decided I'd hold the Braum because I thought it was important enough to do so. Also, I am only on 27 health. If I was on 49 health, like the top person in the lobby, I think I'd sell the Braum and just go level 9 here using Clear Mind. But I thought, you know what, I can only really afford to lose like 1, maybe 2 rounds, and I value having Braum 2-star too much because the biggest weakness of my comp is weak front line. That said, I have been upgrading elsewhere. Like, I hit the Ori 2-star off the lock there, and I'm still rolling. And there is a Jace. I was like, do I just hold Jace here? But how do I ever get Jace in? Jace is the other unit I want. So ultimately, I decided to sell. And then there's another Jace. I was like, oh, come on. Why couldn't you just give me 1 Braum so that I could go level 9 and look to play Jace? Oh, Jace would be so nice. Like I said, there was the question of, do I just sell the Braum and play Jace instead? I wonder if that would have been better. Because, like, look at these items that are on Jace. Those would be really good items on Jace as well. I don't know if that would have been better either. It's a question that's worth it. You know, maybe discuss that in the comments if you think just playing straight up Jace would be better. I would lose Bodyguard, but I'd pick up Transformer, and you know, Jace is a legendary unit, so I don't know. It would be a lot easier if I didn't have Clear Mind and didn't have to think about these decisions. But anyway, the good news is I'm up against another one of the Protector reroll comps, and I knock that person out. And it's honestly not even close. I knocked that person out of the lobby very easily. So at the worst, it looks like I'll be top 4. And in this one, I was like, oh, the Ghost of Kog'Maw is hitting someone. Go Ghost Kog'Maw! And yeah, there we go. So the Ghost Kog'Maw, the person I knocked out, then knocked out another player as well. So we're top 4. Let's go. And now really top 3. Excuse me. It's only 3 of us left in the lobby. So who's left? We've got the Victor Urgot player, and then we've got the Mutant player who has Kaisa and Cho and Mutant Galio, which is kind of interesting. I wish I had actually checked what the Mutant ability is in this game. Where we were discussing this on the Sula Discord afterwards, and there was a question of, hey, what was the Mutant ability? There's a lot of people playing Mutant in this lobby, and I was like, I don't know because I never checked. So I still don't know what the Mutant ability was. I never checked it during the game. Oh well, like I said, it is what it is. So we've got another fight here, and this one's up against the Mutant player. Again, every fight will be against one of these 2 players going forward. Also looks like the sound cut out in the recording for some reason. I don't know what's up with that. But the good news is I'm actually winning against this person fairly easily. I think in part because I was able to snipe their Kaisa, and they do only have a 1-star Kaisa here. So yeah, I put a big hit on that person, knocked them all the way down to 13 HP. And actually, both of the other players lost there. So that's certainly good news for me. And then there's another Jace. I was like, what? Why all these Jaces? What? Give me 1 Braum. Please give me 1 Braum so I can go to level 9. Or give me a Spatula on this next carousel so then I could actually just play the Jace. Oh well, in any case, so we're kind of in like one of those round robin things when there's 3 players left, in that I feel like I beat the Mutant player, but I lose to the Urgot, Victor, and now Jinx player, and I was like, oh, that's not what I want to see. They just hit Jinx 2-star. That's definitely not good. So I think that this board is pretty clearly just better than my board right now. They've got a Kaisa in there for some random reason, but they have 2-star Urgot, 2-star Victor, and 2-star Jinx, and that's the biggest upgrade that their board just got. Plus, Jinx has good itemization. She's got the Guardian Angel, so she doesn't just instantly die when she pops into the middle of my team. So yeah, we actually probably win this fight if Jinx doesn't have the Guardian Angel, but with the GA, I'm going to take the loss, and I go down to 13 HP. And unfortunately, both of the other players won their round, so I was like, oh, come on, seriously? All right, well, so now it's time to pick another item. I do get first choice. There's nothing that I want for Braum. The other player is going to take the Socialite emblem, which maybe I should have taken just to deny it to them, because they're going to use that for Kaisa so that she will now heal on her ultimate instead of just getting mana back. So maybe I should have taken that just to deny it to them, but like I am not using the Socialite Spotlight whatsoever. And this Shojin really does help me out a lot, because I'm going to put this on Ori, and this will cause Ori to ult much more often. Now instead of getting off 1 ult per fight, she probably gets off 2 or maybe even 3 ults per fight. So the Shojin really does help me out a lot. but this person now gets Socialite 3, which they would not have been able to play otherwise, and that's going to be very good for their Kaisa. The good news is Kaisa's itemization is not great. She just has the Morellos out of her normal item. She doesn't have a Guardian Angel. She does not have a... what's the word I'm looking for? An Archangel Staff, which is what causes her to ramp up over the course of the fights. So her items are just like kind of mediocre, not great or anything. But with the Socialite 3, she will now heal for any damage that she does. So that is a concern. Basically, these fights are all about, we have to kill Kaisa quickly. The good news is we just, once again, we just pop this comp very, very easily. The bad news is it's a ghost round, because I would have knocked that player out if I had actually hit them instead of hitting them on a ghost round. They go down to 3 HP, but they don't actually lose in the lobby. So I was like, oh, seriously? And then there's another Jace once again. I was like, if I had known I was going to roll all this gold and not hit the Braum 2-star, I would have just sold this Braum and then just gone straight to level 9 and then played Braum plus Jace. Really wish that I had done that, but, I did not realize I was going to roll 40 gold and not find that last Braum. But it's water under the bridge now. I probably I'm out of the lobby if I lose any more rounds, but I'm going to make this swap over here again. Like I said, my board is pretty darn strong. It's just, it would be a lot stronger if I could have hit the 2-star Braum and then gone to 9 and played Jace. It would be much stronger. So I'm like, all right, well, this is the comp we literally just hit last round. I should just win this again. We probably win this without too much trouble because I've hit this player multiple times and I keep beating this person. Also, Kaisa is down to like no HP, but she's going to get off an ult. And Kaisa's doing what Kaisa does. She just keeps, healing back up again off her ultimates. And I think this person also hit Galio 2-star since the last time I hit them. So, oh man, we're going to get the Kaisa down very low again, but we have not quite finished her off. I was like, can I kill a couple more units? Oh, am I dead? Am I dead? No, 1 HP. Whew. We managed to kill one more unit at the very, very, very end of that fight. And that was enough to allow me to live on 1 HP. So now the lobby's at 19 HP, 3 HP, 1 HP. But I'm pretty confident I'm going to get a 3rd place finish here because I don't think I can beat that Jinx, Urgot, Victor comp. I've been losing to them every time I've hit them. And unless I get lucky, so like what I think needs to happen is I need to hit the Kaisa mutant comp again, win that round, and then like have their ghost knock out the other player. That's kind of what I'm thinking has to happen here, but I don't give myself too much chance of doing this. And unfortunately, I hit Braum a little bit too late. If I had hit Braum just like 1 or 2 rounds earlier, I could be going to 9 right now and playing another unit. Like I could play a sniper unit, I could play Fiora, or not Fiora, she wouldn't be useful, but I could toss in, I don't know, something that would make another trait or two. I think out of any unit that I could play, it would probably be Jace, but other stuff wouldn't necessarily be terrible either. Just something that makes another trait and gives me another strong unit. Anyway, I'm pretty sure I'm up against the Urgot player this round because I hit the other player the last 2 rounds, but I actually like my positioning. The one thing I see is that they've got a Zephyr, so I'm going to switch Jhin at the very last second to try and dodge. Oh, it was the other player who had the Zephyr, excuse me. I was dodging a Zephyr for the other player. But over here, we're going to get a nice Orianna ult. So the question is, how can we do against this Jinx? I know Jinx is going to come crashing in, so she's going to land in the back lines, but we actually have kind of killed the entire rest of the team by the time Jinx pops in. So I was like, oh, okay. And oh, that's right, it's stage 7, so I only have to win 1 round and this person's out of the game. So I thought I would lose to that person, but I didn't. I need probably 1 more round to get to level 9, which is not going to be helpful because this is the last round of the game. One of us will be out here. And this player's just hit Cho'Gath 3. So I was like, well, I mean, we'll fight the round. We'll see what happens. I'm not too optimistic about what happens here. But I do see that this player is here. Again, I'm keeping an eye on them. They don't have Blitzcrank, so I can put units in the corner. And I'm going to dodge at the last second because I know they've got a Zephyr pointed at Jhin. So we're going to dodge the Zephyr. It's Yuumi who's going to get hit, which I'm okay with. And I am going to grab the Malzahar. So the big question is, what can we do about Kaisa? We have to kill Kaisa. If we can kill Kaisa, we can win this because this person's comp has no damage outside of Kaisa. So a lot of it's just going to be fight RNG. Can we hit the Kaisa? She's been tagged with Morellos. Come on, Jhin. Shoot at that Kaisa. Oh, she dashed right into the middle of an Orianna ultimate. She's down. Kaisa's down. And it looks like we've got this one. Actually, 227 damage. The fight wasn't even close at the end. So yeah, I mean, that ended up working out perfectly. I did not think I was going to beat that board when they hit the Cho 3. But, I mean, a lot of what comes down to Kaisa in the endgame does come down to where she chooses to dash around. and she didn't have a Guardian Angel, so she dashed right into the middle of an Ori ult, and then I think she got hit by Yumi's delayed ultimate. And that was that, because once Kaisa was dead, there was really no damage on that team after that. Cho could only eat one unit at a time, and remember, I had a Dragon's Claw on Braum, so he wasn't taking much damage from a Cho ultimate. All right, so it's a first, and that's going to take us up to the top of Platinum 2. Will I get to Diamond this season? I guess we'll have to wait and find out. But what an interesting game. The Arcanist game that wasn't, as I said. I really like the way that this one came together. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Until next time, take care.